Okay, testing. Okay, this is S2 geography. Okay, today we're going to talk about like topic unit 10.3. Unit 10.3. How is China affected by desertification? Before we have already talked about like what are the causes of desertification, and today for unit 10.3 we're going to talk about like how uh, the desertification that may affect the country, or we may say unit 10.3 that could be like a case study. So a case study to study like what are the landscape in China, what could be the major landscape, especially okay in the north of China that may be affected by desertification easily. So therefore, for some content, okay, like what are the causes of desertification, we may not spend much time on the explanation as you may refer to the previous video. So therefore, for that part, for this section or this unit, mainly we're going to study like some places in China, or that could be like to know more about the relief, know more about the geological features in the country. So therefore, for this unit, I expect you may have your textbook, okay, Unit 10 textbook, and also it is better for you to prepare the school atlas, especially for that part, okay. For the map of China, okay, we're going to discuss some relief, okay, in the country. You may have a look for the background picture today here. That would be the Gobi Desert. Okay, 戈壁沙漠啦. This is one of the most famous desert in China. The size of Gobi Desert actually that is quite big. However, for Gobi Desert actually that cover not just about like China, but also for the country of Mongolia. Besides Gobi Desert, we should have studied in Unit 10.1. Besides Gobi Desert, you should know that in our country, okay, there's another large desert, okay, in the Xinjiang province. That would be the Taklamakan Desert, Taklamakan 沙漠, okay, in Xinjiang. So therefore, let's see how desertification that may affect the country. Okay, right now, if you have your textbook, okay, if you have textbook, you may refer to Unit 10.3, okay, uh, 10.3. So, how is China affected by desertification? And for the first exercise, let's explore 10.3, you can still see the first, okay, the first case study. Okay, so the first case study that would be in Ho Chi, okay, Ho Chi. So, here, Ho Chi, and you can see the title, like grassland changed to the sandy land. So where is the Ho Chi? Okay, in Chinese, the name of Ho Chi you can see uh, like here. Okay, 科爾深沙地，科爾深沙地. You can see that. 科爾深沙地. Okay, that would be in the north. Uh, what's wrong? That would be in the northeastern part of China. Northeastern part of China. You can see that. So where would be the Ho Chi sandy land? In the northeast, okay, in the province or between the province, you may mark, okay, แล้ว連遼寧啦，Nate Mongol 內蒙古 and also Jilin, Gatlam. And in front of these, oh no, between these three provinces, that would be the Ho Chi sandy land. And I hope you still remember when we study chapter 4, okay, the trouble with water. I hoped you still remember this page. You still remember this page. Page 16. Okay, page 16. We have studied the landscape of mainland China. One landscape I have mentioned before, or in your textbook, that would be in this part. Okay, it would be like this. That is a mountain range. That is a mountain range called 大興江嶺, 大興安嶺, 大興安嶺. That is also the mountain range. So that is what we have studied in the first term. I hope you still remember. So therefore, that would be the case. That would be the case. Okay, in the northeast. And for this area, you can see that, okay, the issue, the problem of the certification that change, okay, you can see most area change from grassland to sandy land, okay. What would happen, or let's have a look about the changes. In table 1, okay, you can see the change of the number. For most case, you will see the changes that would be like negative, okay, especially for the vegetation and the cropland. Cropland means related to farming, okay. So all this reducing. And for the bare soil, it means that it's like the unproductive area, so it increase a lot. So therefore, you can see that, or we may have a conclusion that, like the productivity of the land in the northeast China, especially in this, okay, Ho Chi sandy land near内蒙古, okay, so the productivity drops very, very much. So therefore, that would be one of the examples of desertification. Okay, then let's have a look for other cases. Okay, so which region in China is facing a risk of desertification? Okay, after the case in Northeast, let's have a look, okay, for the case in the country. So from this map, okay, for what is the figure? Figure two, okay, figure two. Okay, you can see that that would be the distribution of the country. Okay, here that would be the that's it, that's it, and Gobi, that's it here. Okay, and for the rest, okay, in the area for the orange area, you can see that is the area at high risk of desertification. So before I have already mentioned that desertification may only taking place, okay, in the dry land or at the margin, okay, margin of the desert. I hope you still remember the semi arid region. Okay, and from this map we can see that is especially more serious in the north, okay, northern part of China. So including, okay, here that would be some place you must note, such as like Xinjiang 新疆啦、內蒙古內蒙古啦、西藏啦，especially okay, in the a little bit northern part of Xinjiang, Jiangsu, 甘肅省啦，okay, and Qinghai, 青海省. Okay, let's have a look about for this province. Okay, for this province. Okay, let me enlarge this map, or you may refer to your school NS. You will see that. You will see that. Okay, 江苏甘肃省 for this. Okay, for this, I hope, okay, I can highlight this. And I may tell you, actually, if you study like Chinese history, you may have better understanding about this province. Why? It is because, especially for this area, that is what I have always mentioned. That is the Silk Road. 呢度就係古代嘅絲綢之路。If you study like Chinese history, okay, you may always hear about for the description of some places like about the Silk Road, such as 河西四郡啦，河西四郡. Actually, all this area that locate in Jiangsu. 甘肅有啲嘅好出名嘅城市啦，武威啦、張掖啦、酒泉啦、敦煌啦、嘉峪關啦，OK，all this actually that is located along the Silk Road that is in Jiangsu. What would be the landscape in this area? Okay, you can see that most area that would be the semi-arid region, and they are close to the desert. So therefore, the climate there actually that would be very very dry. Okay, and also like Xizang, as the relief there, the relief there that would be very high. Okay, so therefore it is also dry. So that would be about some places. Okay, some places where the desertification that may easily taken place. Okay, in the north of China, or you may say like northeast. And one more. You should note. Okay, on the left hand side, you can see there is a question. Okay, which province or autonomous region. You should know that autonomous region, we may call it like 自治區啦. Okay, has the largest area at risk of desertification. Of course, that would be like Xinjiang. from this map that would be very clear. Okay, so most area as it is very dry, so therefore most area that may under the influence of desertification. So therefore, okay, let's see. Let's see. What are the characteristics of the physical environment of the northern China? In the northern part of China, uh, you may have a look about the satellite image. Okay, you may have a look about the satellite image like this. That is very clear. In the northern part, the southern part, we may just refer to the color. We can note what happened or what would be the difference of the landscape. In the south, most color that will be in green. So therefore, we can observe there's lot of vegetation there. It is because full of water. But in the north, okay, so here that would be Mongolia, and to the rest, okay, to the rest, Xinjiang, you can see that all in brown or maybe yellow, and we may expect that the area there that would be very very dry. So therefore, what could be the explanation? Okay, so let's see first about the relief and landscape. For the relief there, so we should have learned in the first term. So the relief of the country that increase from the east to the west. So therefore, the relief of the northern China, we always use this term to describe. This is relatively rugged with many highlands. OK，以高地為主啦。係啦，一啲比較崎嶇嘅地勢啦，rugged，OK，and with lot of highland，OK，that is relatively high compared to the coastal region. And then in addition, many large deserts such as what we mentioned before, Taklamakan Desert and Gobi Desert are found here. Okay, are found here in the north. And then in the northeast, lowland is found. So what would be the lowland? Okay, if you refer to your school annals, the lowland there, that is what we call what the Dong Bei Pingyuan. I hate this actually. I would use the word like plain. Okay，呢個東北平原啦。東北平原. In the northeast, okay, actually the relief that is relatively low. So we always mention that the lowest relief it should be in the east. Okay, the highest one in the west. Therefore, like this, in the east, in Xinjiang, much higher, and in the northeast, relatively lower. So therefore, we can even see like there's a pingyuan, the plain there. Okay, from these figures, okay, or from this map, you can see that, okay, here that would be about the basic distribution of the relief in mainland China. Okay, you can see that in the west. Okay, the west first, I always mention in the west. Okay, so you may refer to the legend here. Okay, you may refer to the legend here. The height of the land. Okay, most area that would be over 2,000 meter in the west, but in the east. Okay, so that would be below 500. And here that would be about some landscape. Okay, we have studied such as in the southeast, no, southwest. Okay, southwest. There, the Himalayas, that would be a mountain range. And then there will be more mountain range or more landscape we may note, okay? So that would be at the boundary or in the north of Xinjiang, Kunlunshan, Kunlunshan, we have already studied in the first term. And in Xinjiang, that is relatively north, a very famous mountain range there, Tianshan, Tinshan. 天山山脉, or you may hear about like 天山雪莲. Actually, that would be from that area, 天山. So if I show you the picture, okay, 天山, actually that is a very nice place that could be like this. Okay, that could be like this. So you can see the glacier there. You can see the glacier there. It is because the altitude, okay, the altitude that would be quite high. Therefore, the temperature in the top of the mountain that would be relatively low, and therefore that would be the formation of the glacier. Even that would be at the middle of the desert. Okay, so if this mountain, if the height that would be high, okay, there could be glacier, there could be snow. And you can also see this one, okay, this one, this one. This is a very famous tourist spot in Tinshan or in Xinjiang. If you have chance to visit there, especially in winter, in summer, don't go there in winter. That will be extremely cold. If you go to summer, you can see the scene like this. The spot here, you can see the snow mountain and also a lake, okay. And the full name that is called, if I remember correct, that would be like Tinshan and Tinqi. So that is a lake. So people call it like Tinqi. So that could be like a lake in the heaven, as the landscape there that would be very beautiful. So therefore, people would call it Tinqi la. So that would be at the Tianshan mountain. Okay, here, here. Okay, in the west, and then between the Tianshan or the Kunanshan, you can see that. Okay, so the Tatla Makan Desert. Actually, that would be between this. Okay, then for Gobi Desert. Okay, so that would be in the near Mongolia and also Gansu. Okay, relatively central part. And let me show you more landscape. Okay, so right there near the area of Linsha Lingha, if I remember correctly, it should be Lingha. Okay, so you can see that the Helen Shan. So this one in Chinese, 河南山啊. And then one more that is not really shown in your textbook. Okay, it should be here if I remember, if I draw it correct. Okay, this one. There's also a mountain range. In English, that would be the spelling like this. Qilianshan. In Chinese, 麒麟山啊. Oops. 麒麟山啊. Actually, 麒麟山, that is the boundary between Gansu and Qinghai. Okay, so you may have a look if you have your school annex. Okay, if you have your school annex like this. Okay, so let me enlarge this. Okay, if you have your school address right here, okay, then you can see that. Okay, in the northwest arid semi region zone here. So that would actually, this part that would be you can see 河西走廊啦, that would be Gansu, 甘肅省 Gansu province. And you can see that in the south, actually, between Gansu and also Qinghai. Okay, I hope you still remember. In the first term, I have introduced one of the inland saltwater lake, or the largest inland saltwater lake in the country. That would be Qinghaihu, Qinghaihu. That would be with salt water. Then here you can see that that would be in Qinghai. And between Gansu and Qinghai, actually, there's a mountain range. We call it Qilinshan. 祁連山. Okay, so this is also famous. This is also famous. It is because, if I remember correct, the range of the mountain of Qilinshan, the mountain range of Qilinshan, that is also like a snow mountain. So there's lots of melt water. Okay, it's flow from the mountain to the desert area to all these oases. Okay, to all these oases. You can see that. You can see that from the legend here. Okay, it mentioned oasis, oasis, oasis. Okay, and all this area in the Gansu, this is also the oasis. That's why the people can settle here. So why there be oasis? It is because there could be like the supply of the groundwater, and also there will be the supply of the snow, the melt snow water from Qilinshan. So therefore, that would be about the case. Okay, so let's go back to the textbook. Okay, that is too large. Okay, here that would be about some landscape. So therefore, we can see that if we divide like the country into half, east and west. Okay, east and west. Okay, east and west. And in the west, that is mainly the desert and the highland. That is mainly the desert and the highland. And also in, especially in the northern part, in the east, there will be more like grassland. Therefore, I expect you may note one of the brand of the milk daily product in mainland China, like 蒙牛啦。蒙牛. Uh, what is the meaning of that? 蒙古. Okay, that would be from 蒙古, 內蒙古. Why the product of the daily product in that place it would be good? Okay, it is because there could be a lot of grassland that would be good. Okay, for the livestock rearing, especially for the daily industry. Okay, so therefore here that would be about some explanation of the landscape in the in mainland China, especially okay in the north, about the relief. Okay, and then for the climate there, okay, so that is also I would say that is very easy. So what would be the climate there? Okay, we know that that could be a little bit dry. Most area would be the semi-arid region. Therefore, in this area, the rainfall is low, and most important, unreliable, 唔穩定啦。We may not know when would be the rainfall. Okay, so unreliable. So most rainfall, okay, actually falls in summer. So this is due to the influence of, okay, I hope you still remember the summer monsoon. Okay, this is due to the summer monsoon. And also, when we talk about like the temperature, so a very large annual and daily range of temperature，個年溫差同埋個日溫差都會係比較大嘅喺呢一個區域嗰度。Okay, it is because it is in the interior part of the land, so and also in a relatively high latitude. That's why so the annual and daily range of temperature it would be relatively large. So therefore, that would be the characteristic for climate. Okay, then here you can see the about the rainfall distribution of water. For that one, I'm not going to explain this. Okay, for the climatic graph, you may have a look by yourself. Okay, I hope you still remember how to draw the climatic graph. Okay, then for the next one, when we talk about the characteristics of the area, so after relief, after rainfall, we may talk about like the soil and vegetation. So what would be the soil and vegetation there? Okay, so the soil there is dry and poor. So that's why we may say in the northern China, so the productivity is relatively low. Okay, as the soil is poor and dry. Or I hope you still remember when we mentioned like the poor soil, we always use the term like infertile. Okay, I hope you still remember we can use this term. Infertile soil there. So therefore, not much plant that can be grown in this place. And then for the vegetation in the northern part of China, this is sparse. The major type of vegetation there that would be like some shrub，呢嘅矮樹啦，主要都係矮樹啦。Okay, however, dense vegetation and farmland can be found in oases, 綠洲啦, and also near the river valley. For example, you can see that in figure 5 here. Okay, the oasis in what we call the oasis in turpent in Chinese we call it 吐魯番. 吐魯番 that is a very famous place in the country. Okay, I will explain this first. Explain the figure first. Okay, let's go back to figure 5. Let's go back to figure 5. So for figure 5, actually you can see, so that would be like a valley here. So that is a valley here. So therefore, for that place, okay, water could be concentrated mainly in this part. So therefore, the farmers there, they can grow some crops, especially, okay, fruit. Okay, I may tell you, some fruit actually that would be very famous in the northwestern part of China. For example, the first one in True Print， 吐魯番啦。吐魯番有啲咩出名呢？OK，吐魯番最出名嘅生果就係提子。就係全中國最靚嘅提子，咁就係嚟自吐魯番嘅啦。佢嗰度有個葡萄園嘅。Okay, that is actually the farmer that can get some underground water, okay, to grow the fruits there. So therefore, that would be one example. Another example, a very famous fruit in the northwestern part of China, that would be the watermelon. Watermelon 西瓜啦。中國嘅西瓜邊度最靚嘅呢？一樣啦，都係新疆嗰度就係最靚㗎啦。因為陽光充足，只要夠水分咧，就可以種植出一啲好靚嘅水果。咁頭先講過啦，提子喺吐魯番，西瓜咁新疆嗰度都好出名㗎啦。仲有一個就係哈密瓜啦。OK，melon。For 哈密瓜，actually, if you know that, let's see. It is not mentioned in your school annex. Okay, so if you know more, if you understand well about the places in China, you should know that. Okay, in Xinjiang, actually there's a place that's called 哈密。新疆有個地方叫哈密，佢嗰度出名嘅水果就係哈密瓜啦。係啦，咁頭先講過好多嘅水果咧，咁其實喺新疆都係非常之種得好好嘅。咁主要原因咧係因為尤其是夏天嘅時候咧，plenty of sunshine，plenty of sunshine。Therefore, that would be especially, I would say, especially good for the fruit planting. For example, in Hong Kong, when we buy some orange or apple, okay, especially from USA,我哋買啲美國嘅生果，買啲美國嘅橙啦。咁通常嚟自邊度嘅咧？嚟自加州啦 ，California。So where is California? That would be in the southwestern part of the USA. Okay, so for the California. But why California? So that would be good for those fruit. It is because for California, it is also like a desert place. plenty of sunshine, plenty of sunshine. So therefore, if the farmer can do better irrigation, so the output of the fruit it could be very very great. So this is a good place actually for the fruit growing，係一啲好去到種植一啲生果嘅地方嚟嘅，只要有足夠嘅陽光。Okay, so therefore, one of it, like in Xinjiang. Okay, and don't miss it. Okay, in the northeastern part of China, where rainfall is higher, grassland are found. Okay, lots of grassland. So therefore, in sum, the physical environment in most part of northern China is harsh one，係好差嘅，好艱難可以喺嗰度 survive。That would be a very harsh environment for even like human or for vegetation. So therefore, the productivity there that would be relatively low. Okay, so that's why not much people would like to settle in the north western part of China. Therefore, this region, okay, so the size of population that is relatively low, that's relatively low. However, you can see that when there's an increase in population, it poses pressure on the land resources. This will easily lead to the land degradation. Then, what we have mentioned before, land degradation, if it continued land degradation occurred, desertification that may occur as well. 咁就會導致好容易有荒漠化嘅出現啦。So therefore, on the next page, so it would be page 23. How do physical and human factors, okay, lead to desertification in northern China? Okay, you can see that at the top here, that would be the human factors, and then at the bottom, physical factor. For this factor, actually, we have studied in unit 10.2. Therefore, I'm not going to repeat this right now. So you may refer to unit 10.2. Okay. Then the last part of unit 10.3. So after that, if we know like desertification that may occur, what happened? Okay, what would be the result of desertification? So for the last part here, okay, we're going to talk about like you can see the subtitle, how does desertification affect people in the northern China? So therefore, right now we're going to talk about the result. What will the result? The first one, that will lead to economic loss. Okay, why? It is because you can see that desertification causes a loss of productive land. So therefore, it would be very difficult for the people to carry out some economic activities or such as to carry out farming there. Okay, as most farmland has become degraded. Okay, so every year desertification causes direct economic loss. Therefore, so one of the problem, okay, that could be brought by desertification, that would cause poverty，一個貧窮嘅問題啦。Poverty actually that is quite serious, especially in the northwestern part of China, and that seriously affect the livelihood of people there. Okay, one I would like to mention, if you look at this picture, a deserted village in Gansu, many fields there have become unproductive due to desertification and drought. We have studied drought before, and also we talk about desertification. But why I would like to discuss this with you, look at the page Gansu here. Gamsuk, okay, Gamsuk. If you refer to the map, actually Gansu here, you can see that. Okay, Gansu here. You can see that most area that is also under the influence of desertification. Therefore, Gansu actually that is a province in the country. I would say with the problem of poverty. 甘肅係全個國家最窮嘅省份之一，最窮㗎啦。So therefore, sometimes if you watch the program of like the Oxfam, like about the World Vision, 樂施會啊，宣明會啊，you can hear a lot of poverty elevation program，呢啲好多扶貧嘅工程。And I may tell you, where does this take place? That would be in like 江蘇，就喺甘肅呢啲咁樣嘅地方去到做㗎啦。因為嗰度佢哋個天氣同埋地理嘅問題，令到尤其是當地嘅農夫係好難去到發展嘅。So therefore, poverty that is a very serious problem. So that would be one of the results, okay, of desertification. Okay, and then what would be other result? Relocation of people. People need to move. Okay, people need to move. So you can see that people are forced to leave their homeland. Okay, they have to leave. Why? It is because for those area without water, as the demand for resources that will be very great. So therefore, it is quite hard for them to survive to settle in this place. So therefore, more people they would leave that place to settle in other area. So therefore, that would lead to the relocation of people. Okay, as the land there that is really unproductive. Okay, then this next one, the next one. So what would happen, or what would be the result of desertification in the northern part of China? That is, that may increase the frequency and intensity of sandstorm. Sandstorm 沙塵暴啦. So as the area become dried, okay, the frequency of the sandstorm that would increase. More sandstorm, a sandstorm will become more common as the land become dry, become desert. Therefore, okay, so the supply of sand and dust that may increase. Then the frequency 嗰個次數啦、intensity 強度啦 of sandstorm it will also increase. So therefore, that would be the result, okay, of the desertification in the northern part of China. And that's it about the case study. I said that today we mainly talk about like the case study. So actually, you can see that that would be the end of this unit. But before we finish this, okay, so I would like to discuss these two questions with you. What is the effect of desertification on food production? That would be easy. So desertification that may reduce the food production. But I'd like to discuss this with you. Okay. Will desertification affect people in Hong Kong? Actually, we have discussed this issue before during the lesson. I would say desertification will sure affect the people in Hong Kong. It will not just affect the residents in mainland China. It is because the impact of desertification it could be quite large. Why? Okay, first we may say desertification that may increase the pressure of the farmland. Somehow we may rely on the food supply there. So therefore, if desertification occurs in the northern part of China, it may affect the food price in mainland China. Okay, so that is the first explanation. And then the second one. So this is important. Okay, this is important. So we have discussed this in the lesson before. That is desertification. It will increase the frequency and the intensity of, especially intensity of sandstorm. Therefore, the sandstorm somehow it would traveled from the interior part of China to other places, such as to the southern China or to the eastern part or even farther away, like to Korea or sometimes even like to Japan or I would say in Hong Kong, we have experienced the sandstorm from China before. Okay, so therefore, you can see that the sandstorm actually that will affect the visibility or especially the air quality of Hong Kong. I hope you still remember I have mentioned the case of sandstorm that is almost like 10 years ago. Almost, okay, I forget which exact year. That is Hong Kong under the influence of the sandstorm from mainland China and the air quality, okay, become very, very poor, become very, very poor at that time. So the air quality index that reached to the maximum, like 500 in Kuntong, something like this. Okay, so therefore, for desertification, I would say that may also affect um, the residents in other places. So therefore, this is about like the lesson, okay? So about the case study for the desertification in Hong Kong. So student, please finish the unit summary, okay? Finish the unit summary, and we will check the answer later, okay? And don't forget your lesson worksheet, okay? As you do not have your textbook, so therefore you have to do the exercise in the lesson worksheet. Again, if you have any questions, you may ask me through the telephone number, through the WhatsApp, or through the email, okay? And of course, when you encounter some problem, if you want to ask some questions, okay, you may use the live chat boards, okay? So today, actually, we don't have much audience here, so therefore, there's not much question asked, okay, during the video. So therefore, in the future, if you have any problem, please ask, okay? And after that, for the next unit 10.4, we will discuss the issue of sandstorm. Okay, so please pay attention to your Google Classroom, okay, or to email, and I will tell you when will we have the next lesson. Okay, so therefore, that's all for today. So I'll see you in the future. Okay, goodbye.